Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Soul Smart, where we're going to take just 20 minutes to help level up your understanding of Soul Natural's unique adaptogenic formulas. And today, we're talking about a product that is relatively new to the scene. It is our new essential oil roll on called Soul Agile. We're going to start off right out the gate from hearing from a friend of mine, Tammy Peterson, and how this formula is helping her.
Hi guys, Tammy Peterson here, and I wanted to tell you really quickly how I'm using Agile when I travel. I've had to travel a ton lately, and I don't have time to get sick. It's just not in my schedule. So I've used this on my nose. I'll actually just rub it on my fingers, then all over my nose. That way it'll keep the germs from getting in and starting to get me sick. I'll also rub it all over my hands after I've touched anything, whatever it is. Even after I've used the bathroom, in those horrible bathroom stalls, and I've washed my hands, I'll still use this when I get back to my seat. Also, my lifelong problem has been my ears. So when I fly, I always walk away with pain for weeks afterwards, even dizziness. So what I'll do is I'll take this, rub it all around my ear, and then I'll go from here all the way down so it can get rid of the congestion. It works great. And this Agile oil smells so good, you guys. You will love it. It's a win-win. It smells good. It kills germs, and it helps my sinus and congestion. So I hope you love it too.
This formula definitely hit the ground running, and so many of us love it. And it very quickly, something that was just going to be a one-time run, it sold out so quickly that the company realized what a jewel it had in its hands, and it made it an on-standing availability so that we always have it.
Hi.
So let's look at some of the key benefits of this formula. So you can see this on the website. This is what they have listed, that it is calming and soothing. And it naturally has some analgesic and anti-inflammatory properties. Analgesic meaning that it helps with addressing pain. So making it effective for muscle pain, joint inflammation, and headaches. And I've heard multiple reports of how people have used it at their temples or maybe the base of their skull for when they had challenges with a headache. Respiratory health. We know that this time of year or in the cold and flu season, that often people can end up with some coughs. And this formula, the combination of some of these oils and the synergy of it, is very good at helping to relax the respiratory system, therefore helping to open it up. I know when I was young, I was notorious for getting these awful coughs, even just coughing on a piece of dust in school. And I couldn't stop coughing so much that it literally felt like I was honking. It was so embarrassing. But I have to leave the room, go out in the hallway, and just try and get on top of it. I do believe had I had this available, this could have made a difference for me. Then we talk about some of the oils that are in this are very good at helping stress and addressing that and relaxation, helping thoughts that might be overwhelmed, helping with sleep. And we've heard about that too, how people are feeling like they're sleeping better. If you think about being relaxed and being able to breathe deeper because of how it's opening up the respiratory system, it makes sense. But at the same time, it's amazing that something that can be relaxing and help with overwhelm can also help you to think better and impact your mood. Yet this is exactly what we're seeing this formula do. So let's look at the individual ingredients in this. We have lavender, something that many people are familiar with. I will tell you, I am not a fan of lavender by itself. But in this formula, it blends in so beautifully. It's just, I find it to be an amazing complement to the other oils. In general, lavender, so far as the body system goes, helps to support the glandular system, the nervous and structural systems. There are many other systems that are impacted, but I just wanted to pick a couple to help you get an idea of what it does. The general properties that lavender has been known for. Um, Again, we talk about the analgesic properties, anti-inflammatory, antispasmodic, which is one reason it probably supports in this blend for coughing, nerving, so helping calm the nervous system, digestion, and then restorative. I will say I've had some people talk about their stomach being kind of out of whack and applying the Agile oil topically over the abdomen, and they've gotten relief from that. When you look at historical usage for the lavender essential oil, there's a lot. There's so many different things you can pick from, and when you look up in all the books. But these are ones that made sense to me for how, in general, the formula has been being used. Anything tied from circulation, insect bites, lymphatic congestion, calming the nerves, um, not sleeping, mental exhaustion, and then things like coughs, skin health. Wintergreen. Wintergreen to me is pretty fascinating because it's not one that a lot of people have a whole lot of experience with when they with using essential oils for the most part. Those main body systems are going to be the nervous system, respiratory, and structural that it helps address. Its properties, you're going to see some start to know some repetition here because a lot of the oils can do similar things. So we see the anti-inflammatory, we see the anti-spasmodic, but this also helps with decongesting, helping to breathe deep because nothing's worse than when you've got a cold and you can't breathe, it's all stuffed up and maybe you're trying to rest or just sleep, get a good night's sleep. But at the same time, it helps for moving, thick, congested type mucus. Antibacterial, so we're talking about why it's good for colds and flus. Antirheumatic means it's going to come in and help, maybe people having discomfort when it comes to, their joints. Historically, wintergreen's been used for a lot of things. So we see bee stings, we see a bloating, digestion, joint pain, sinus congestion, and here we have the alertness and concentration again, indecisive, holding your breath. And Jennifer Pressmone, who is a aromatherapist that I highly respect, in her book, she has this statement about wintergreen that I just really love. It says emotionally, it brings clarity to situations and helps with decision making and alertness. So many people get stuck and they're unable to make a decision or they feel on the fence. Wintergreen is an essential oil that helps moving forward and things like that. Eucalyptus globulus. The main body systems for this are going to be the immune system, respiratory, and structural. A lot of people are going to be familiar with this smell because it's used, this type of, or this essential oil is used in lots of different formulas and are familiar with the smell when it comes to colds and flus. And you're going to see we've got lots of things like antibacterial, antifungal, helps with, it also helps with mood enhancing as well. But when we look at the historical usage, this is where you're going to see the colds and flu, cold sores, fevers, congestion, respiratory, opening the mind, mental chatter. How many of you deal with that mind that just keeps going? This is something that helps to open up that mind and help reduce that. It's very good as an emotional balancer. And here again, we see some impact when it comes with migraines. Let's listen to the unique thought and that Greg brings to the table when he's talking about this formula. I really, really love this.
Have you ever heard that 7 is a lucky number? Well, Solle Agile has 7 pure essential oils. Just saying. And actually, Solle Agile is a yellow labeled product that is all about removing blockages, restoring the flow of energy, opening up pathways, both neurological and emotional, and helping the body bring down inflammation and pain physically. So it actually does sound like there's a whole lot of good luck in that blend. It's a roll-on ready to use. And the thing that I wanted to share about it today might strike you as a little bit different. Why do I like Solle Agile and use it so often? Why do I like it so much? Well, first of all, I mentioned the lucky number of 7. Those are the oils that are in this formula, these pure essential oils. Wintergreen, eucalyptus globulus, clove, red thyme, camphor, menthol, and lavender. Those are the 7. And each of them, to me, are like music. So let me explain what I mean. Music has, I think, a special power with me. I've always loved music. And certain types of music can reach me, can connect when nothing else will. Sometimes it lets me relax, finally, or find stillness, peace, or release some kind of angst or frustration. Literally release it. and change my whole mentality. Music has that power for me. And I've heard people talk about essential oils that they contain notes, as it were, some bass notes and treble notes, etc. And that together it's a little bit like a symphony of healing when you have a blend of them. And that's exactly the way Solle Agile is. Solle Agile is about clarity of mind and of our body and flexibility. So it's about opening up physical pathways, opening up neuro and emotional pathways, and restoring flexibility, or bringing it if it's been a while since we've felt it. That blend, a couple of those oils, particularly the eucalyptus globulus and the camphor, they have dual notes, both warming and cooling. And there's a lot of that complexity in this formula, which people smell for the first time and just love. And that gives it its symphony of notes, its variety of notes, its power to remove things that get in the way, both emotionally and physically, from the flow of energy, from us also, I think, experiencing joy and emotions that we like to have as part of our day. So if you have not yet tried it yet, I highly recommend Solle Agile.
Greg points out that this formula is in the yellow category, which is our clarifying category. And like he said, if you kind of think about how Clarify is about moving blockages, it is about opening things up. This kind of will give you some guidance and idea of how to use the formula. So let's look at the clove essential oil that's in here. Clove, we've got for the main body systems, we're looking at the gastrointestinal system, the immune system, and the nervous system. Again, we see when it comes to analgesic, we see antispasmodic, anti-infectious, and expectorant. Now, this oil does have a lot of anti-parasitic properties as well. This is one reason, along with a couple of the other oils that are in this formula, why for myself, whenever I have someone doing the Good Tract cleanse, Soul Naturals Good Tract cleanse, that I also have them taking the Agile formula and rolling it over their abdomen a couple times a day, because I feel that it helps with the cleanse working better and addressing the parasitic challenges that often people are dealing with. And so when people are reaching out, how can I address this? This is a phenomenal add-on for that. So historically, how has clove been used? Besides exhaustion, which we're seeing come up on a lot of these in pain, it's interesting that it comes up for pulmonary concerns or addictions, creativity and lethargy, so just being tired, memory, mental fatigue, negative thinking, and helping to bring about positive thinking. So people maybe they're stuck with negative thought patterns, so it's helping promote positive thinking. And then nervous fatigue. When we look at the menthol, so that main body systems, which menthol, think about your mints family. So like peppermint is one of the most common plants that menthol comes from. But we're talking about like supporting the circulatory system, hepatic, so your liver, gallbladder type area, the immune system. Here we see the similar repeats on the properties. But when we get into the historical usage, respiratory again, mental, it's amazing to me how many of these oils not only are working with congestion physically, but congestion in our mental thinking. So it helps to be mood lifting, nauseousness. We've seen several things in here that have helped support the body with PMS, cramping, sinus support, mental fatigue, just general PMS as opposed to just PMS cramping as well. Self-doubt, courage, overwork. These are all, I hope you're starting to see how well these all work together to support the body. Camphor, coming in supporting the circulatory system, the respiratory, structural. The properties of this are very much helping to open and helping to breathe, helping to move. And so that's one reason that these formulas, when all combined, can help address things like circulation. Maybe it's helping for that person to open up circulation up to the head. So maybe that's how it's addressing the headaches. Maybe it's addressing it because of what it's doing impacted with the liver and impacting how stress is impacting it. Maybe it's helping because it's helping to open up the respiratory system, helping people breathe better. And then again, we've got our mental fatigue challenges as well, and then concentration and general alertness. I know that I've taken to using this blend in so many different ways, which I'll tell you about, and just I'm amazed how much I love this blend. Now, red thyme is essential oil that I have loved for decades. It has always appealed to me. And it has the body systems that it primarily addresses are digestive, but then also the intestinal. So digestive is going to be, think about, the stomach and the liver and the pancreas and all that involved with helping break down or, helping break down and digest our food. Whereas intestinal is going to have to do with the transition time, the peristaltic movement into the bowel as well. So topically there. So if you look at this, you'll see it also has some anti-parasitic properties as well, also helping with antibacterial, antifungal. We got the nervine. So historically, this one has been used a lot of the ways we've been seeing. This one comes in very unique in helping with sluggish metabolism as well. Now, one of the challenges that I have seen for myself, when I started going through perimenopause and then menopause, and now I'm over a decade beyond that, was the challenges that ended up impacting metabolism and how the liver was involved. And so I love this whole formula, the Agile formula, taken and rolled over the liver several times during the day. And for me, that is such an added benefit, no matter if you're working with just general health. For me, I found it very beneficial with helping balance out the hormones and just supporting metabolism in general. And like I said, I like this Agile formula for people that are doing the good track detox as well. So I like also how red thyme specifically comes in and talks about helping to invigorate your purpose, courage, and uplifting. And for me, that's part of, to me, it has always spoken to me and just reached deep within me, kind of like what Greg was saying. And I'm very similar to that with Greg. Music could reach me in ways other things couldn't. And just it would go beyond what conversation could do and words. Same with being in nature. And so I think that's one reason this formula has become so powerful is the combination of things like the red thyme and the other essential oils that are in this blend. So in general, how are people using this? And keep in mind, we've only had this essential oil blend for 6 months at this point. And this is just some of the general ways that people are using it. Several of them you've heard about in this little 20-minute webinar. One person I know on the outside of their cheek, opposing the tooth where they were having a toothache, they were applying that in that area, and that was helping with toothache pain, helping them drastically. Congestion. We've heard about that with, talked about that with coughing and things like that. The main lymphatic duct. If you think about that, this right there about where the middle of the breastbone there is. And for myself, when I start getting run down, I feel a heaviness there. And actually my voice will start to kind of shift whenever I start pushing myself too hard. And so that is a place that I commonly roll that Agile blend. Over the liver. And if you're wondering about where the liver is, take your left hand, run it across your body to the right side, to right beneath the rib cage, and roughly with your fingers touching the middle of the side, then that's roughly where your hand is going to be where the liver is. It does not have to be perfect, but a congested liver, putting that topically over the liver, both emotionally and physically, I've seen it make a major difference. We heard about how Tammy uses it with travel. We have so many people that have gotten great relief for sore and aching muscles. And then I have people that are using it at the base of their skull, bottoms of their feet, before going to bed to help them with sleep and have a good restful sleep and help. And if you remember how many of these ingredients that are in here, the essential oils, talk about how they support the respiratory system, but also the nervous system. So calming and relaxing at the same time. So you guys know that I love to end with a quote, and I thought this was kind of apropos considering our essential oils, and that is our bodies are our gardens, our wills are our gardeners. So why do I pull this out? I feel that this agile blend helps us to be more flexible and be able to move forward and helping us to bring the best us to the table. So if you like this content and would like to get more of it, hit subscribe so that you can get the most recent edition of the Soul Smart when it's released.